Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks very much for coming back. Apologies for the huge delays in these videos, but as I said previously in other videos, not really got the time to do these as often as I would have liked. Bit of a themed one today. Probably be a bit less popular than some of my more generic ones. It is sport related, it is football related, and it's related to a specific team. So if you're not a fan of this team, the likelihood is that you may not enjoy the video. But too bad, I'm making it anyway. So I'm a Manchester United fan, have been all my life, and I've been collecting autographs from former and current players at Manchester United and staff at Manchester United. So I thought I'd do a video based on that. So the first autograph I got was this one. I sent to Bobby Charlton at Old Trafford. This came back, and to be honest, I wasn't entirely sure what to think of this. Obviously, Bobby is, a sort of an absolute legend, one of the Busby Babes at United. This came back. Now in my first instinct was this was a stamp, but having spoken to other collectors, I probably have to read what I've written here, but having spoken to other collectors, they felt that it wasn't a stamp. It was actually real, but it was signed with a Sharpie on a glossy card, and it got a bit mottled with the effect, because you can see that at the start of it looks absolutely fine, but becomes mottled as he writes along. Probably likely because there are other cards put on top of it. He just pre-signed loads. This is, as far as I can tell, genuine. It's not stamped. It's just a pre-signed card from the legend Bobby Charlton, Sir Bobby Charlton, I should say. Next up, I've only kept this on here. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely hate this little bastard. You know, I absolutely despise him. But you know, for a brief moment, there was a chance he could become an absolute legend at Old Trafford. Didn't happen. Turned out he was an absolutely sniveling little piece of beep. But I did write to him at the time he was at Old Trafford, and I'm kind of glad he did, because obviously he's a huge name in terms of the football world. It's Angel Di Maria. You know, you can call him what you want. I call him other words. But I did get this back. I don't think the personalization is his writing. I think someone else has written Paracal on it, but it is a genuine signed autograph from Angel Di Maria. Like I say, I've kept it on here. A few people have suggested I'd be better off ripping it up. They may not be wrong, but I've kept it on here for now anyway, so please forgive me on that one. Next up is Mike Phelan. Now, when I wrote to Mike at the time, he was a former Manchester United footballer and former assistant manager under Alex Ferguson. He has obviously come back to Old Trafford now, but at the time he had left. He was at one of his other clubs where he was, I think, managing. Was it West Brom? I'm terrible. I don't know where he went. I'm not entirely sure. But I wrote to him, and he signed this picture of him and Sir Alex Ferguson. So obviously he's back now. He is a ledge at Old Trafford. So that was really cool to get this. Okay, next up we have another former Manchester United player, sort of turned TV pundit. He used to do a lot of commentary and sort of talk show stuff on MUTV. I don't think he does as much now, if any, but it's Paddy Crerand, Pat Crerand. So I sent him this. Again, I think this was via Old Trafford, and it came back signed in pen, as you can see, sort of biro, but still really cool to have an addition to the collection there from former legend player Paddy Crerand. Next up is the boss. The boss, there's no other way to describe him. He is the one and only Sir Alex Ferguson. This was a request that was sent via a private address. I don't even know what the private address is anymore, to be honest. I wrote so long ago, I'm not sure he's replying anymore via it, certainly not since he had his stroke. But I sent 3 pictures, and I got them all back signed. The first 2, they're a bit clearer, and I've blown them up. You can see here it says, "To Carl, best wishes for Alex Ferguson." This one here as well, this is from his final game at Old Trafford. I think this was his final game at Old Trafford. To Carl, best wishes, Alex Ferguson. This one's a bit clearer because he's written on the red bit. To Carl, best wishes, Alex Ferguson. Absolute legend, the best manager there ever is, ever was, ever will be. I'm sure there'll be people who will disagree with that statement, but in my eyes, that's exactly what he is and what he'll always be. So the legend that is Sir Alex Ferguson. And then I thought, well, actually, what would be quite cool would be to get all of the, as far back as I could possibly go until people obviously were deceased, but try and get as many of the former Manchester United managers as I possibly could. So I sent off to David Moyes, who I'm not sure he was at the time. I think he might have been at West Ham when I sent this off. When was this? This was 2017? No, he wouldn't have been at West Ham in 2017, would he? Would he? Someone correct me on that one. This is the only sort of time that I think anybody was smiling when David Moyes was in charge at Old Trafford. This is when we were in the Community Shield. It's him with Manu Vidic, and he signed this picture, "To Carl, best wishes, David Moyes," and sent that back. So that was really cool. And then I wrote to José Mourinho. This is whilst he was at Old Trafford, while he was still the manager at Man United, about 10-day turnaround. I wrote off to him. I don't think I sent any pictures because he wasn't signing any, but he had pre-signed cards and knew at a period in time he was sending them. So I wrote to him and got back this pre-signed card. I mean, say what you will about Mourinho. He's a legendary manager. Yes, his career's tailed off over the last few years, but he is a legendary manager. So, definitely cool to have this in the collection, and as a Man United picture as well. And in regards to Bobby Charlton, obviously I wasn't quite sure whether what I'd sent to him was real, so I resent him. This is him in his England strip, not his Manchester United kit. But I sent off again to him, got it back. The signature looks exactly the same as the one before, but without the mottled effect. So pretty certain now that the original one I got back was genuine. So another one there from the legend that is Sir Bobby Charlton. Next up is, I actually wrote to the Manchester United women's manager, or she was at the time when I wrote to her. So Man United, obviously, as lots of people know, disbanded their women's team for quite a long period of time, but have now reinstated their women's team, who are have done pretty well over the last couple of years. Not doing great at the moment, but done pretty well over the last couple of years. And their first manager, when they were reinstated, was Casey Stoney. Obviously, a bit of a disappointment. She used to be a Liverpool player, but there you go. What can you do about it? She actually did pretty good at Old Trafford, or at United as a manager. So I sent her 2 pictures, this one, and you can see here she signed this one on. It's quite dark, but you can see she signed it, and here Casey Stoney. So those 2 pictures signed by Casey Stoney, former Man United women's manager. Next up, I wrote to Ole Gunnar Solskjær, who was the current Man United manager, former player. I wrote to him pretty soon after he started his tenure at Old Trafford. This isn't the best picture because he signed on his dark coat, but this is a picture I sent in. He is signing at the moment, so I've actually just resent to him to try and get a couple of cool pictures signed. So I'm hoping to get those back soon. But that's Ole Gunnar Solskjær, who is the current manager at United. So you can see I'm starting to build up. I've got Ferguson, Moyes, Mourinho, and now Solskjær. So obviously I needed to try and get as many managers as I possibly could. Next up, a bit of a shame this one, but I've included it anyway. Chicharito, Javier Hernandez. I loved him at United. Little P. He was a great little player. I wrote to him after he'd left when he was at West Ham. I sent some pictures, but unfortunately what I got back was, due to the volume of requests, we're not able to get the item signed, but I've included an autographed card. So they actually sent me just a pre-signed card. Yes, he's in a West Ham shirt, but you know what? He's still a former United player and has got some good memories of his time at Old Trafford, so still kept this one in the collection, even though he's in his West Ham kit. Next up is a signed book. This is signed by Michael Carrick, former Manchester United player. He's currently a coach at Old Trafford. I purchased this book a couple of years ago. I hate his signature. His name is Michael Carrick. That does not look like Carrick. That looks like another word to me. That looks like M. Something that doesn't say Carrick. I'm not going to sound out what it is, but I'm sure you can see it. If that is his real signature, if that's not just his rush signature because he had thousands of these books to get through, then my God, that's the worst signature I've ever seen. But that's Michael Carrick. Next up is a return via Old Trafford from Juan, who is still there, rarely plays anymore, but a cracking little player who signed him from Chelsea. Love the guy. He's putting an absolute brilliant performances over the years for United, and hopefully he'll go into some sort of coaching role once he finishes playing with us, because he is a top dude at Old Trafford. Really like the guy a lot. Next up is Marcus Rashford. I sent him a couple of pictures. Obviously, I think there's nobody on this planet who doesn't know who Marcus Rashford is. Let's be honest, for all the work he put in over the last couple of years during COVID, in terms of sort of feeding children who haven't got the money to kind of, just get the basic food they need to survive throughout the day. He's an absolute legend. I sent him some pictures. He didn't sign them, but he did send this return this signed card. You can see it's genuinely signed there. You can see all the pen strokes and stuff. It's not auto pen, it is signed. So I'm really pleased with that. I don't think he's signing as much as he used to be. I know he's been injured at the moment, but I'm really pleased to have got that back and to add to the collection. Next up, this was actually an in-person one. This is former United player Wes Brown. I met him at a celebrity golf game. Here you go, there's me at the celebrity golf game with Wes. And I got him to sign that, so that was really cool. Pleased to add that. I haven't met many United players in real life, in the flesh, so this is one of the few that I have, so that was really cool. Next up is now former Manchester United player Dan James. It's a shame this, and I really like Dan James. Obviously, he's a fellow Welshman. I really like the guy. He's gone to Leeds now. You can't hold it against him. He wants to play, and that's fair enough. Look at how happy he was being at United. Look at his little face there. He was loving being in that shirt. You look at the photos of him now. When he signed for Leeds, he did not look happy about it. But there you go. I'm still keeping this one in the collection. Dan James, top lad. Wish him all the best. Next up, a couple of legends then. We got Bryan Robson, former captain and player, sent to a private address. I'm going to speed up a bit now because I'm conscious time is ticking. So I sent him these via private address, got both of those signed. Best wishes, Bryan Robson. Really cool addition there. And again, another former player, David May. I have met David previously at Old Trafford, weirdly enough. It's one of the few players I have met. But I sent him 2 pictures. This one's celebrating winning the Champions League. He's there at the back. You can see him sort of almost looks like he's on Alex Ferguson's shoulders. He's not. He's on Nicky Butt's shoulders, but right at the back there behind the trophy. And this one as well. So he signed both of those. Again, private address. So really pleased to get those back. Another one via private address then. And the sort of almost completed my as far back as I can go for United managers. It's former United manager Ron Atkinson. This was via private address. It's actually quite hard to find photos of him at United or anything to do with United because it was so long ago. But I've got to send these 2 pictures off. This one here I like particularly. He signed this one, Ron Atkinson, and again this one. Both are private address returns. So currently only missing Louis van Gaal. And I have written to him, so we'll see how that goes, whether I get a return from Louis. But if I do, that'll be everybody up to this point of making this video in terms of those who've been in charge at United. And apart from Giggs, obviously, for his very brief period, but haven't got him yet. Next one is Norman Whiteside, again former Manchester United player. They've played these couple of players you can see coming up now. Played loads of games for United over the years, racked up a huge tally of games for United. Sent 2 via again private addresses. This one's Norman, and this one here, both at United. This was a book I bought recently. This only came out the other day. It's Peter Schmeichel's autobiography. Absolutely love the guy. Legendary goalkeeper at Old Trafford. So I've bought his book, and I love his signature. It's really fancy. It's really cool. The swishy sort of Peter bit. It looks really cool. So yeah, bought Peter Schmeichel's autobiography. So that one's a new addition to the collection. And the most recent then, or actually almost most recent, is Mason Greenwood. He's actually a current United player at Old Trafford. I wrote to him via Carrington training ground. I sent him this one picture, which he signed to Carl Mason Greenwood 11, and then he's also sent me his player card as well. He looks like a bit of a dope in his picture, bless him. But he's a cracking player. I love the guy. He's superb. So really pleased to get those back from Mason Greenwood. And the very last one I've got up to this point anyway is former Man United player Arthur Albiston. I mean, he's probably not a name that lots of people know, but I mean, he's played hundreds and hundreds of games for United during his time with us. It was like 380 games or something. Huge amount of games for United. I sent him 2 pictures again to a private address. This one and this one here, and he signed and returned both of those to me. And that's it. That's an update of my Man United players' autographs, or players and staff autographs to date. I'll be doing an update video soon on all the other stuff I've had recently, but just wanted to get this one done so there's something new to add to the video channel. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're not a Man United fan, hope you didn't hate it. And look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers, take care.